Okay, so hello. I am wearing makeup today. Just had an audition. And I am outside of my apartment because my husband's inside teaching a lesson and the baby is napping. So we'll see how this works. It's already a little loud, but we'll see what we can do. Today I just wanted to make a quick video to talk about Relaxin. So if you are pregnant or if you have been pregnant, you might have known about Relaxin. Even if you didn't know what it was, you have definitely experienced it. Relaxin is what allows the body to stretch. It loosens the ligaments and it loosens the joints in your body, which sounds fantastic. So those of us who have never been that flexible get a chance to be pretty flexible when we're pregnant, because the body itself is actually drawing itself apart to make more room for baby, and your joints need some help with that. So that's what that hormone does. While it is a wonderful, exciting thing, it can also be a difficult thing to deal with, because it is something that can put pressure on the joints. So if you're already a very mobile person, you were flexible before you got pregnant, now you are more flexible, which nice, but at the same time your body doesn't necessarily know how to deal with that flexibility. Same with someone like myself who wasn't terribly flexible before they got pregnant and all of a sudden has this additional mobility. I found that especially throughout my first pregnancy, I had all of this extra mobility, but my muscles weren't ready for it because they weren't used to being able to go so deep and stretch so far. So I found, particularly, especially when I was practicing yoga or any fitness in general, that I had to be really, really careful and really, really mindful. So this message is just to say that while you are practicing, especially when you are pregnant, and also while you're nursing, pretty much until you have, bye car, completed nursing, that Relaxin stays in the body. So the joints will be really mobile, the ligaments will be really loose, and you'll have a lot of mobility. So you need to be really mindful when you're practicing that you're still lifting out of the joints and offering yourself a lot of muscular support so that you're not sinking into the body. And also it's a pretend flexibility. So it is flexibility that will potentially leave you postpartum and post-nursing once the hormones have cleared the body. So what tends to happen with women that are unaware of it or just a little less aware in general, we start to work out, we notice, oh my gosh, we're so flexible. I never used to be able to touch my toes. I touch my toes, I pull, I stretch, I pull, I stretch, I pull, I stretch, and then ouch, I've overstretched, I've overpulled, and potentially done damage to the body. It's pretty rare, I think, that you see a pregnant woman going over and above and over and above physically. A lot we tend to be very mindful of ourselves when we are pregnant. I found it was the biggest thing for me was you just listen to the body. When the body says no, absolutely no. When it says yes, I'm hungry, you do it, right? It's time to sleep, you sleep. It's time to eat, you eat. It's time to stop, you know it, and you stop. So I find that most women listen to that very clearly and easily when they are pregnant. But just to be aware that is what's going on. That's what's stretching and pulling the body apart. So when we're practicing, I really, really love the idea of using props. 2 blocks are fantastic. Blocks are a great way to support your body throughout your yoga practice. They're a great way to practice restorative and yin yoga, which will be really helpful throughout your pregnancy and postpartum to kind of ease the body into opening again in ways that it wasn't used to, is super helpful there as well. Straps, obviously, too, bolsters, of course, but those blocks can offer you support to lift out of the joints as well as to deepen a little bit. So just being very careful with your practice in general. If you're already a regular practitioner, you have a really strong practice. Once you get a little bit more mobile as you're becoming pregnant, just be mindful of how you're using that mobility, just to kind of back out of it a little bit and continue to work on your strength as much as you are your mobility. And for those of us that are newer to a practice and we're just stepping on our mats just to feel good, just to find some ease, just be aware that all of a sudden you might be able to touch your toes and you never were before, even though you have this big belly growing in your way, that flexibility is very normal. And to listen to it. What is a good stretch? What is a bad stretch? If you can stretch and breathe slow, deep, and easy the whole time you're stretching, even if you're noticing sensation, boom, that's a good stretch. If you're stretching and all of a sudden you find yourself like this and it's hard to breathe and you can't get a deep breath, you have gone too far. Too far, too far. That's an in general rule for everything in yoga, pregnant or not pregnant. If you're feeling sensation inside, outside of the body, it's breathable, it's manageable. There's some element of like, I can work through this if I just keep softening and breathing. That's where you want to be. If you get somewhere and instantly the body clenches, tightens, squeezes, it's hard to breathe, you've gone too far. Slowly, gently back yourself out. Either get a little more shallow in it or just take a break altogether. So that's Relaxin. That's what I have to say about that. We'll probably touch on that quite a few more times as we head through our sequences, ways that you can use props, and I'll show you which props I use, which props I recommend, and all that good stuff. Okay, that's all. Talk to you later. Bye.